Is Texas A&M hiding from open records requests? It's January 16th, 2024, and these are your headlines. Hope everybody's staying warm. It's still freezing in a lot of parts of the state today. Hopefully it sort of warms up, especially this afternoon. But our first story, an obscure bureaucratic entity buried deep within Texas A&M University is attempting to rewrite the rules for how governmental bodies make information available to the public. And if it's successful, it could have dire implications for citizen oversight. At issue is a series of requests by the American Accountability Foundation, which is a nonpartisan watchdog group that attempted to learn more about the role of so-called diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. Senate Bill 17, passed by the legislature last year, forbids these practices as of January 1st of this year. During the December 11th meeting of the A&M Faculty Senate, Senior Associate Vice President for Faculty Affairs Heather Lynch claimed that citizen inquiry was harassing and threatening. Lynch furthermore claimed that AAF's requests were a threat to academic freedom. Now, Lynch was reporting on the work of the Task Force on Academic Freedom and Faculty Protection, which had been commissioned by now University President Mark Welsh. In response, AAF has sent a letter to A&M's General Counsel, Ray Bonilla. The letter warns that the Faculty Senate suggestions include potentially slowing down processing public records requests in order to protect young faculty, in an attempt to chill use of the PIA and discourage legitimate requesters. They go on to say that by chilling the use of the PIA, they are undermining one of the most effective tools journalists and public interest groups have in overseeing government. The letter goes on to request that Bonilla clearly instruct faculty at the university of their obligations to comply fully with the PIA, Public Information Act, remind them of the consequences of their failure to do so, and exercise increased oversight over the faculty mentioned to ensure that they are not surreptitiously failing to produce records when tasked as a custodian with collecting records as part of a PIA request. As a reminder, Texas A&M University, like all universities, public universities in the state, is overseen by a board of regents appointed by Governor Greg Abbott and confirmed by the Texas Senate. O'Keefe Media Group founder and CEO James O'Keefe has recently published an expose revealing a secret facility in Arizona transporting illegal aliens to Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport on the hour. In the video, one of the facility workers, identified as Jesus Moreno, confronts O'Keefe on the sidewalk and says that he's not allowed to keep harassing people. When asked for his name, Moreno replied, "Nuno," as in Nuno business. He then closed an entrance fence on OMG journalists. In the video, he can be seen trying to bribe O'Keefe and his team to leave the facility. Another staffer at the facility, identified as Thomas Robles, called O'Keefe and other OMG journalists domestic terrorists. The facility is run by the International Rescue Committee, according to their reporting. Now, in a new follow-up video, O'Keefe and OMG journalists decided to follow one of the buses transporting illegal aliens to the airport and interview the driver to find out who's contracting the bus companies. While en route, the bus driver tried to back up into the journalist's car while at a stoplight. The driver then recklessly drove through traffic in an attempt to evade the journalists. Upon reaching the airport, the bus driver called the police on O'Keefe and his team. After arriving, the police actually escorted the illegal aliens to their respective terminals and then departed. This story, of course, comes as the border crisis in Texas and Arizona continues to worsen as a result of President Joe Biden's open border policy.
Did you know you can watch Texas Scorecard on your TV? If you have a Roku or Apple TV device, download the free Texas Scorecard app. There you can find all the great Texas Scorecard video content, like daily headlines, The Luke Macias Show, Heads Up, and Scorecard documentaries. Download the Texas Scorecard app for free on Roku or Apple TV.
Lastly, I told you yesterday I'd give you a little update on how things went, and I can tell you that despite snow and freezing conditions, Texans showed up last night at a meeting hosted by the True Texas Project in Beaumont to hear from Attorney General Ken Paxton. The reason for his visit? To campaign for David Covey, who's challenging House Speaker Dade Phelan in the Republican primary. He said that anyone willing to take on Dade Phelan, said he calls him Drunk Dade, has tremendous courage, referring to an incident last year where it appeared Phelan presided over the House while intoxicated. You've probably seen the clips. He said that defeating the Speaker will change the trajectory of the state. When introducing Covey, Paxton told voters that they had the power to change the direction of the state. The stop in Beaumont wasn't the only campaign visit Paxton made while visiting Phelan's district this week. He also attended a campaign lunch event for Covey earlier in the day. Now, the visit comes as Paxton continues touring the state in support of candidates he has endorsed for the Texas House. You can find out more about today's stories at texasscorecard.com.